You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
What's up, guys? This is another episode of The Clean Truth. I'm Don. I'm your host. Got a pretty cool episode for you today. I've got Ben Fleming and Kyle Gilbert here. They're the strength and conditioning coaches from UNCW.
What's happening? Thanks for having us.
Appreciate you guys.
So I wanted to have this episode with these guys today because I was very fortunate to go to an event this past weekend with these guys at Sorenex Exercise Equipment headquarters. It was an event that they put on every year called Summer Strong. I'll be honest with you, man. I went to this event with you guys totally blindsided by what was going to go happen there. I thought we were just going to go there, bang some weights out, drink some beers, and hang out.
Pretty much, right?
I was wrong, man. I mean, they had 13 really great speakers. I learned a lot. I took a lot away from it. Lessons, for life, business, marriage, the whole 9 yards, man. It kind of hit me pretty deep. You guys feel the same way about it? I'm sure I've talked about it a million times since then.
We've heard about it. We've heard stories about it, but we've both been in two different places where we were unable to go. So we didn't really know what we were getting into either. Like a little bit like you're saying, like just a good fellowship and hang out with people from our walks of life. But, I was kind of mind blown the same like you with all the different things we learned.
When you hear other people talk about it and these meatheads that you would, perceive as meatheads or guys in the industry, and they talk about it as like a Woodstock of strength and conditioning, this grassroots thing that started, so recently, but, people use the term, it changed my life. And so it's one of those things you got to go check it out.
It really does, though. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. It's hard to explain.
When you're sitting in a room full of some of the best strength and conditioning guys in the country, and you see grown men cry.
Yeah.
That was like, I was like, I don't even know what's happening right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wasn't thinking of it that way. It was just, you're just kind of letting everything that they're saying sink in, and you're starting to relate to everything that you're going through. And that's what I did. I mean, and that's what I told everybody about the whole weekend. I was dealing with a lot of issues with the business and things going on personally. And then when I went there, it was creepy. I mean, I think I talked to you about it that night. I had a conversation with my life coach on the drive up there, talking about some things that I was going through. And, she gave me tips on how to deal with it mentally and how to give myself a mental reset and that whole 9 yards. And then I'll be damned if I didn't go to this event. And I sat right there in the chair, and the first speaker, I sat backwards in my chair. I'm like, holy shit. Was this guy listening to my phone call when I went?
No doubt.
No, anyway, I wanted the point behind this episode. I thought about this when we were there, and just hearing you guys converse with other guys in your industry. I had no idea that the strength and conditioning, industry, what's a good term for that?
That's collegiate strength and conditioning.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really know and understand until I went to this thing, the ins and outs of it, and hearing these conversations. It seems like you guys all go through the same struggles. And it is also, some of those struggles is another big reason why it's so important for me to do what I do with Clean Eats. When we moved to Wilmington, we started networking with UNCW right away. I mean, that was kind of a no-brainer. And then we were just very blessed that the students, the faculty, the staff, all the athletes, they come in, welcomed us with open arms. They kept eating here, and, they still eat to this day. And
no doubt.
Whenever I met you, through all the baseball coaches used to come in, and the baseball coaches introduced us to them. I'm like, I need to give back. We need to start giving back to this university and getting involved with this university the best that we can. So I think the first year we made a donation to the baseball team. I'm a huge baseball fan. I don't have Major League Baseball here like I had in St. Louis. So that was the next best thing for me. So I wanted to give back to that, and then made some relationships through that over the years. And then it dawned into the next year, we did a broader sponsorship with the school and was able to give back to all of the teams, not just the baseball team. But that's something that's very, very important to me. And I think it's needed. And I think I wanted to just have this conversation with you guys on how important, and just kind of give other businesses tips on how they can get involved with their university, and just kind of talk about what it's like to be a college athlete. Because I think a lot of the public, they don't understand what some of these kids go through.
No doubt.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, some of these kids, they have it very good. I mean, they get what they need. They get shirts, shoes, the stuff that they need to compete. But a lot of things they don't get unless they get outside support from businesses and people in their community, because the schools are on a budget, and rightfully so. I mean, unless you're a big D1 university.
Right, Alabama.
Absolutely, yeah.
They have
yeah.
huge budgets. So, I mean, those guys are a little bit more taken care of. But even just hearing a lot of the other coaches at this event talk about some of the struggles that I know you two go with, because I've gotten to know you guys really good. So,
Right.
what are some of the things that, I mean, if talk about some of the things that we've done?
No doubt. Like, we're always throwing ideas off of you. And I think a lot of people think that just because it's college athletics, it's all the same. But yeah, there is such a thing such as the Power 5 conferences. And those conferences are well taken care of through TV dollars and bowl money and things like that. But especially at a school like UNCW, you don't have the big revenue generator as football. Like if you think like App State or East Carolina, like straight up the road, like that helps a lot. It might not be on a grand scheme like Alabama, but that helps a lot for their athletic budget. And the big way that a lot of our kids, like you said, they get shirts, they get shoes, things like that through Adidas sponsorships. But the food things are the extras really in college athletics that the major universities have realized plays a big role. And so we're trying to do our part by supporting our kids, because we know that's the big thing. Like a college athlete needs more than 3 meals a day.
Sure.
I mean, simple as that. And 3 meals and a protein shake, would be nice, but we got to be honest, like half the time they're not eating breakfast either. So now you're thinking 2 meals and maybe a protein shake from the weight room. So we're trying to talk to them about the necessary, things that they need to do, such as eat more and eat better things, not just McDonald's and Chick-fil-A every single day.
And then making sure it's healthy and it's quick too, because the reality of the situation is, we got 18 sports at UNCW. Most of those athletes are on campus 12 hours a day. And when you think of, these well taken care of, or, sometimes I think the mindset goes to these, millennials that have all this extra, that they don't have to work for it, and they everything is just provided. And you see all the, you see Alabama, you see UNC where they're getting, 3 and 4 pairs of shoes a semester. I think the reality of the situation is most college athletics are not like that. Where they're there in the morning, it's academics is a high priority, especially at UNCW, and then you have your weights. If you're in the off season, or even if you're in season, you're getting there at least 2 to 3 hours a week. And then you got study hall, and then you have practice. So most of the athletes are on campus around 12 hours a day.
Crazy.
Yeah. Full-time job.
Yeah. So I guess start from the beginning. I mean, you just mentioned a little bit of it, but let's go into a little bit more detail. So when a kid, just use basketball or baseball, for example, when he starts the college, when he starts his first year as a freshman, walk through that.
It's hitting the ground running. So like a basketball guy, will get here for the second summer session. So summer B, which will pretty much be the whole month of July. And they'll have 4 hours of individual work throughout the week with the coaching staff. Then they'll be with us for 4 to 5 hours in the weight room. They're going to 2 classes, and they have study hall in the summertime. They roll right into the fall, and we get our full workload. We have 6 to 8 hours with them in the weight room. They have 4 to 6 hours on the court before the season really ramps up. Again, plus study hall, plus school. So like Kyle was kind of saying, a basketball guy might have an individual at 8 o'clock in the morning, might go to class at 9:30. He gets out of class at 12 o'clock, goes and tries to find something fast to eat. That's why they probably eat, Chick-fil-A and things walking through the,
Now, who's responsible for mapping out their nutrition? Is that you guys, or do they have?
We try to do our best job of educating, but like he said, like at the end of the day, they don't have much time. So if walking by Chick-fil-A or by Subway is the quickest thing they can, I mean, they might have 30 minutes to eat. And we all know in the workplace how like 30 minutes is over before you think about it. And they're usually walking somewhere while they're doing that. Then they're back in the locker room by 1 o'clock, getting ready for practice. By 2 o'clock, it might be 2 o'clock to 4:30, and then weights after that, and then study hall after that. So like I said, if it's not starting at 6 o'clock and ending at 6 o'clock, it's starting at 8 o'clock and ending at 8 o'clock. So it's a lot of time. They don't get much time to go home. Like our kids shower on campus a lot. And for a lot of them, that's brand new. They've never showered in high school in the locker rooms. They just change and keep on going. Well, they're literally on campus for 12 plus hours.
Not to mention when they travel.
Yeah, not to
Those
mention.
games.
Yeah.
That's probably even harder.
Oh,
No
yeah.
doubt.
I mean, and you're coming back, a lot of times you're coming back at midnight, 1 o'clock. They're expected to be in class the next day. So you're going home, trying to find something, quick. I mean, obviously you'll have a post-game meal, but that can be 2 hours. That could be 6 hours from when you get off the bus when you get home. So yeah, you're trying to find something semi-nutritious to eat at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then if you have an 8 a.m. lift on that next day, you're right at that 8 a.m. lift the next day. So it's and then you got class. So
we try to educate with meal prep and kind of like you guys do, but we take them to the grocery store. But at the end of the day, like you said, with competition, with practice, we're like, okay, let's try to have a good meal on Sunday night because most of the time you'll have the Sunday night free. And let's maybe see if we can get you to Wednesday or Thursday eating something, at your apartment or that you actually cooked, not eating out all the time. And because by the time you get to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're full go with either competition or practice or, like you said, travel, things like that. So it's hard to say that any collegiate athlete could go to the store and could pick up food for Sunday and get them all the way till Saturday. Right. That's just it's not going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy to think that they're going through that schedule and trying to obtain a degree at the same time.
Yeah,
No
absolutely.
doubt.
And
My head would
the
explode.
majority of them, I mean, not to pump UNCW so much, but I mean, I think we had like a 3.4 average GPA across the board. I mean, you're talking about 18 sports.
Pretty damn good,
That's
though.
really good.
It's really good.
I mean, we had, Rebecca Banks, one of our women's basketball players, she got 1B her entire collegiate career. She graduated with like a 3.94
and was a starter.
And was a starter.
That's awesome.
One.
I remember, I think it wasn't too long ago, you were telling me a story about how he was a baseball team. They were on the road. They kicked some serious ass. And then the coach made them do a study hall on the bus on the way home.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap, they can't even enjoy a win, man.
Yeah. They leave on a Thursday, play Friday, Saturday, and practice Thursday night, play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And as a head coach, like you said, he's got to be responsible for student athlete.
That's discipline.
Especially
it's the last thing they want to do. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to add to this conversation, we're talking about nutrition and making sure these athletes are fed right. If I'm an outside business, just forget clean eats for just a second. Not everybody has that capability. How does a lot of other universities work nutrition from outside businesses?
No doubt.
So, can any outside business? I know, I'm using UNCW out of default because they're the only ones that I have for a reference. But UNCW has Aramark, and Aramark has a big contract with them, and most universities probably do, and rightfully so. But if an outside business wanted to help a teams out, I know we're allowed to do it here, but is it like that all over?
Yeah, it's like that. Like the NCAA made it so that there was no more regulations on what type of food we could feed athletes, when we could feed athletes. It used to just be like post competition or post exercise workout. You could feed them, and that was it. Well, now they pretty much opened it up till you can feed them whenever you want to. So it's as simple as, making a relationship with somebody on one of the teams. Like you said, maybe you have a connection to women's soccer or to baseball or to softball. And you just kind of ask the coaching staff, how can I help you guys? Like, I know your kids are hungry, and that's probably the quickest way to their heart also is through their bellies. So it's just simple as like, can we support your pregame meal? Can we support your postgame meal? And that's huge. And coaches, like you said, coaches have to coach, and then they got to worry about a budget too. So, it's tough for them too. So, feeding their kids is a huge thing.
I think too, our athletes are creatures of habit too. So it's one of the things where it comes back, and I think it helps the business as well because they enjoy what you provide, and they start going and they start bringing more kids, and then they put it on their social media, and whether other college kids want to admit it or not, they're following athletes on their social media. They see them go there, they're just they see them out and going into your store. That kind of makes that a little bit more attractive.
I know firsthand. The kids at UNCW have been great to us. Outside businesses supporting the teams. Guys, that's kind of why I wanted to do this, is to educate other businesses on how to help, these student athletes with their nutrition and other ways to to support these guys. So, I mean, you heard it from these guys. If you have a local university that you want to help out, just reach out. I mean, it's a good business networking. You're doing a good thing. You're giving back. You're helping college athletics and student athletes with their nutrition. I mean, I had no idea what went on, behind the scenes with collegiate athletics. I think I learned a lot over this weekend, just kind of being behind the scenes and listening to you guys converse. And that was one of the things that I was kind of stuck back. I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, I've seen some of the stuff you guys go through.
Yeah.
And then to hear 45 other guys say, yeah, man, we deal with the same thing.
And I think that's the thing too. Like granted, it's easy for you because yours is associated to food, but a business, it's so easy for they're putting up Edward Jones Investments or something insurance, as a sponsorship. And yeah, they know that it goes on a billboard here and there, it goes on a sign here and there. But like, if you want to do more, or if you'd rather your money go towards something else, all you have to do is tell the university, like, hey, I want this to be for the men's soccer team to have a sandwich after every game because they get done at 10 o'clock. They can tell them, like, the university is going to help the student athlete in any way they possibly can. So if you want to allocate it towards, like, I want them to have brand new pairs of shoes, then they're going to say, okay, we'll go buy 12 pairs of shoes for the women's basketball team because Nancy and her husband own a local business, and they realize that that's a humongous joy for a student athlete to have. So yeah, you don't have to be afraid to like talk to these universities. They're looking for help, of course.
You're 3 foot, man.
No doubt.
Oh yeah.
Get close and talk to somebody.
Sure.
So.
And if you're looking to create a connection too, I mean, most of these, coaches and administrators, they'd love to take you a tour around, the facilities, around game day, whatever it may be, whatever you're looking for. If you're willing to help, they're willing to go and help you as well. I mean, go into, pregame, go in, see any facility you want to. It's not the mentality of like, not every coach is Nick Saban and not every, athletic budget is Texas. Most of them, like Ben was saying, if you're not in the Power Five, it's not necessarily a struggle where you got to look down, but they're going from year to year in their fiscal year and like, hey, can we get these guys three pairs of shirts or 4 pairs of shirts? And, that makes a huge difference. It's a soldier will battle a little harder for a piece of ribbon off their jersey. So it makes a huge difference for the athletes.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else, man. I appreciate you guys coming and kind of shedding some light on that whole subject. I just wanted to make sure that I wanted to make it a point to educate people out there that own a business, whether it's food or anything, on the importance of supporting a local university, because I've kind of stepped behind the scenes rather than just being in the restaurant and being able to see it firsthand on just how much this is needed. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. I think when they see somebody from the university coming and asking them for money, they just look at them like, shit, this guy's here for another freaking sponsorship. It's not like that.
No doubt.
Now that I've seen actually what happens and what this money is spent for and where it goes, it's extremely, extremely important.
Yeah. And and our guys have seen you maybe like 2 or 3 times, like coming around the field or around the weight room. Yeah. But they all know you because they know, like,
I love it.
Like you said, you fed them an Arnold wrap, and they're like, man, that was huge. I needed that so bad in the middle of a doubleheader, and their eyes light up when you walk around because they're like, man, that guy took care of us.
Do it every day.
So it's awesome.
So
appreciate everything you've done for our guys and our
of
girls.
course, man. I'll keep doing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's about all we got today. Thank you guys for coming and shedding some light on this. I think it's going to be. I hope somebody gets some benefit from it, whether they can use it in their local university or even right here in Wilmington. If they know what we've been doing with UNCW now, maybe they'll want to do the same and help out. So
pay it forward.
Yeah. Appreciate
you guys.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's it. Till next time.